a good look at this record-breaking tree in California's Redwood National Park.
Imagine standing in front of a tree so massive that skyscrapers seem tiny in comparison. Sounds impossible, right? Well, these giants are real, and they're hiding in forests worldwide, growing to sizes you'd have to see to believe. Today, we're taking you on a journey to see some of the biggest, tallest, and oldest trees on Earth.
It's really alarming to me that we're losing giant sequoias, because if there's a tree that can handle fire...
From California's famous General Sherman to New Zealand's mystical Tāne Mahuta, each of these trees has a history going back thousands of years, surviving wildfires, logging, and even climate change, making them some of the most incredible and resilient life forms on the planet. Get ready to uncover these hidden giants and see why they're so essential to our world. 1. General Sherman. Imagine standing in front of a tree so big it could make buildings look tiny. This is General Sherman, the giant sequoia tree living in California's Sequoia National Park. It's not just big, it's the biggest single tree in the world by volume, measuring an enormous 5,251 cubic feet. Standing at 275 feet tall and 25 feet wide, General Sherman is more than just a massive tree. It's a living piece of history. It's been growing for about 2,300 to 2,700 years, making it one of the oldest living things on Earth. Some of General Sherman's branches are so thick, they could be trees themselves if they were anywhere else. Walking by its massive trunk, it's hard not to feel amazed. But despite its size and age, General Sherman isn't invincible. With wildfires becoming more common and intense, rangers have had to take extra steps to protect them. They've even wrapped the base in special fire-resistant foil to help shield it from the flames. That this ancient tree now needs human protection says a lot about the changing balance in nature. Interestingly, while General Sherman is the largest by volume, it's not the tallest. That record belongs to another tree named Hyperion, nor is it the widest. That title goes to a different tree, like the giant baobab. But General Sherman is unique because it combines size, height, and age in a way that few trees can. In 2006, something happened that only added to its legend. The tree's biggest branch, a massive one over 30 meters long and 2 meters thick, broke off unexpectedly. No one saw it happen, but it left a huge dent in the ground, even damaging the fence nearby. The branch didn't break because it was weak or diseased. It was likely just responding to weather, showing how these ancient trees were both strong and adaptable. As incredible as General Sherman is, there's another redwood nearby that reaches even higher. In fact, it's the tallest tree in the world. 2. The Hyperion. Now, let's move into the towering redwood forests of California's Redwood National Park to find Hyperion, the tallest tree on Earth. Discovered only recently, in 2006, Hyperion stands at an unbelievable 380.8 feet, reaching up like a natural skyscraper. This coast redwood has been growing in a hidden spot for over 700 years, quietly stretching through centuries of human history. To understand its height, think of the Statue of Liberty. It's even taller than that. But here's the twist. Visitors aren't allowed to just walk up to Hyperion to admire its size. The National Park Service has restricted access to protect it. From the ground, Hyperion might look like any other redwood tree because only the first 150 feet are visible. But a tree this impressive naturally attracts a lot of interest. And over the years, people started trying to find its exact location, trampling the forest floor to get to it. This damaged the surrounding plants, and trash began piling up. So, park rangers placed a $5,000 fine for anyone who tries to reach Hyperion, a rule meant to keep both the tree and the delicate ecosystem safe. Hyperion is more than a record holder. It's also incredibly lucky. Back in the 1970s, loggers cut down trees just a few hundred feet from Hyperion. By chance, the area with Hyperion was spared, and when the land was turned into a national park under President Carter, its future was saved. This narrow escape adds a bit of suspense, almost as if Hyperion was meant to stand tall as a reminder of the ancient world. Redwood National Park is home to not only Hyperion, but also 3 other redwoods almost as tall, each with legendary names: Helios, Icarus, and Daedalus. Together, they make this park feel like a natural cathedral, where each towering tree tells a story of the past. Hyperion may stand as the tallest tree on Earth, hiding in the Redwood National Park, but there's another giant out there that's just as impressive. Deep in the Sequoia National Forest, an unnamed sequoia rises in size and mystery, showing that the world of towering trees has even more secrets. 3. Unnamed giant sequoia. Among the world's tallest and widest trees, this unnamed giant sequoia shows just how powerful nature can be. Unlike General Sherman, which is famous worldwide, this massive tree stays hidden in California's Sequoia National Forest. Standing at an amazing 314 feet tall and 35 feet wide, it's one of the tallest sequoias ever recorded. Imagine a tree so wide that it would take nearly 12 people holding hands to fully circle its massive trunk. This ancient giant is part of a rare group of trees that have watched civilizations rise and fall. Giant sequoias can live over 3,000 years, surviving harsh weather, drought, and even fire, constantly adapting to their surroundings. But now, they're facing new challenges. Due to habitat loss and increasingly intense wildfires, giant sequoias are considered endangered. There are fewer than 80,000 of them left in California, and conservationists are working hard to protect these ancient giants. It's even become a global effort. In 1853, giant sequoias were introduced to the UK, where they're called Wellingtonia, after the Duke of Wellington. Today, over 5,000 mature sequoias are growing in Europe. You might think such a massive tree would produce strong timber, but that's not the case. Giant sequoia wood is brittle and shatters easily, making it unsuitable for most construction. When these trees were cut down, the wood was often only good for things like fence posts or matchsticks, a humble use for something so grand. But as ornamental trees, giant sequoias are loved in parks around the world, admired for their ancient beauty and impressive height. This unnamed giant sequoia shows us nature's raw power in California's Sequoia National Forest. But across the world, hidden in Tasmania, stands a different kind of ancient giant, a tree with a ghostly white bark that glows against the dark forest. Let's meet the mysterious White Knight. 4. White Knight. Deep in Tasmania's Evercreech Forest Reserve, a unique group of trees known as the White Knights towers over the landscape. These aren't just any eucalyptus trees, these are manna gums, or Eucalyptus viminalis, that rise like proud guardians above the forest floor. Standing up to 300 feet tall, these White Knights are some of the tallest of their kind and are thought to be around 300 years old. The White Knights often stand in the shadow of Tasmania's famous mountain ashes, like the iconic Centurion and Methuselah. But these pale, majestic trees have a charm all their own. Their bright white bark shines through the darker greens of the forest, giving them a pure, almost mystical presence. For centuries, these trees have stood here, watching the Tasmanian landscape change around them. For those lucky enough to see them, the experience is as moving as standing before any ancient monument, a true tribute to Tasmania's natural beauty. Their white trunks, like glowing armor, seem otherworldly against the deep green backdrop of the forest. Although not as famous as other eucalyptus giants, the White Knights are well respected by those who know of them. These silent guardians in the Evercreech Reserve are a hidden wonder, and for nature, lovers finding them feels like stepping back in time. The White Knights may guard Tasmania's forest with a quiet presence, but in the rainforests of Southeast Asia, an even more ancient and mystical tree stands tall. Meet the tualang, a giant so revered that people believe spirits live within its trunk. 5. Tualang. The tualang, the world's tallest deciduous tree, reaches incredible heights in the rainforests of Southeast Asia. Found mostly in Tawau Hills Park in Sabah, Malaysian Borneo, this massive tree was last measured in 2007, reaching an impressive 281 feet and 4 inches. Its name combines two Malay words, tua, meaning old, and hilang, meaning eagle, fitting for such an ancient and powerful giant. But the tualang isn't just known for its size, it's also respected and even feared in local culture. People believe that spirits live within this tree, and cutting it down is considered very bad luck. This deep respect, along with its cultural and environmental importance, has helped protect the tualang even in areas where logging is common. Part of the legume family, the tualang might look simple next to the sequoias or redwoods, but it's a wonder of its own. The tualang also draws one of Southeast Asia's most fascinating creatures, the Asian giant honeybee. These bees build their hives high up on the tuolang's smooth bark, which keeps them safe from sun bears and other predators. For locals, this honey is valuable for its medicinal uses, making these honey hives an important part of life. The bee's preference for the tuolang adds to its mystery, forming a rare bond between plants and animals. The tuolang is a reminder of the amazing biodiversity in Borneo's rainforests and the delicate balance in its ecosystem. The tuolang might be the pride of Southeast Asia, but far away in Oregon's untouched forests, another record-breaking tree stands tall, the Doerner fir, a massive Douglas fir that once held the title as the tallest of its kind. Let's uncover the majesty of this Pacific Northwest giant. 6. Doerner fir. Hidden in Oregon's old-growth forests, the Doerner fir is a towering example of the strength and beauty of the Douglas fir species. Standing at 327 feet tall, this giant held the record for the tallest known non-redwood tree for many years. Nestled above the East Fork Brummett Creek in Coos County, the Doerner fir draws nature lovers who travel winding forest roads and hike a half-mile trail just to see this incredible tree. The Doerner fir was last measured at 329 feet in 1991, but it's lost a few feet since then, probably due to natural wear from weather and age. Even so, its impressive height still rivals other giants like Tasmania's tallest eucalyptus and Borneo's towering yellow moranti. The Doerner fir once stood among the world's very tallest trees until recent finds slightly topped it. In 2008, a 329.7-foot mountain ash tree was measured in Tasmania, and in 2019, a 331-foot yellow moranti was discovered in Borneo, claiming the title of the world's tallest non-redwood tree. Despite these challenges, the Doerner fir remains a proud symbol of the Pacific Northwest's wild forests. It stands in one of the world's largest old-growth forests, a crucial home for many animals like black bears and owls, and countless plant species. More than just a record breaker, the Doerner fir represents Oregon's natural heritage, a reminder of the amazing beauty that can flourish when forests are left untouched. The Doerner fir is a proud guardian of Oregon's wild forests. But in the Amazon rainforest, a mighty tree called Denitzia excelsa, or Angelim vermelho, towers over the landscape, storing immense amounts of carbon and sheltering life in the world's richest ecosystem. 7. Denitzia excelsa. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, the Denitzia excelsa, or Angelim vermelho as it's known locally, stretches high above the forest, standing as the tallest tree in the Amazon. This incredible species, found in Brazil and Guyana, reaches up to 290 feet, making it as tall as a 25-story building. Located in the Iratapuru River Nature Reserve near Brazil's Amapá and Para states, the Denitzia excelsa is a true giant that contributes to the Amazon's delicate balance. Finding these massive trees was no easy task. Researchers used advanced tools like satellite images and LiDAR, which can scan through the thick forest canopy to pinpoint potential giants like the Denitzia excelsa. Its towering size isn't just impressive, it plays a huge role in the rainforest's health. Each of these trees can store as much carbon as an entire hectare of rainforest, helping to absorb CO2 from the atmosphere and reduce climate change. The Denitzia excelsa is thought to be between 400 and 600 years old, standing strong in one of the world's most active ecosystems. Beyond its role in capturing carbon, the Denitzia excelsa also supports biodiversity. Its great height provides shelter for many species, from birds and insects to smaller plants that thrive in its shade. Yet, these trees are increasingly under threat. Illegal logging and mining, which often encroach on protected areas, put the Denitzia excelsa at risk. However, conservation efforts are growing as people recognize its role in supporting both the climate and the unique biodiversity of the Amazon. Steps are being taken to strengthen protections and keep a close eye on these trees so they can continue to stand tall for generations. The Denitzia excelsa is essential to the Amazon's health, reaching new heights in rainforest preservation. But as we leave South America, we find another breathtaking marvel in India. This ancient giant doesn't grow upwards. It spreads wide, holding the record for the world's largest canopy. Meet the sprawling banyan tree. 8. Thimama marimanu. In the town of Anantapur in Andhra Pradesh, India, a tree with a massive canopy spreads its branches across an area of 5.41 acres, about the size of 3 soccer fields. Known as Tāne Mahuta, this incredible banyan tree holds the Guinness World Record for the largest tree canopy in the world. It's not just an ecological wonder, it's deeply connected to Indian legends and considered a sacred place. According to Hindu stories, Tāne Mahuta grew on the very spot where a widow named Thimama committed sati, an ancient practice of self-sacrifice, on her husband's funeral pyre. Over hundreds of years, the tree's branches spread, forming a vast network of aerial roots that reach out across acres, creating a maze of natural archways. Many locals believe that the spirit of Thimama lives within the banyan, adding to its mystique and making it a popular pilgrimage site. Taking care of this enormous tree requires special attention. The local forest department works hard to keep it healthy, reinforcing its old roots and providing water through underground pipes. Andhra Pradesh may not be widely known to international travelers, but it draws millions of visitors from across India. Many pilgrims come to visit sacred places like the famous Tirupati temple, and for those exploring the area's spiritual sites, Tāne Mahuta has become a unique stop. In India, nature is often revered as sacred, and Tāne Mahuta stands as a living symbol of faith and the powerful connection between myth and the natural world. And if you thought Tāne Mahuta's canopy was impressive, wait until you see the sheer size and strength of this next giant, nestled deep within North America's coastal rainforests. 9. Sitka Spruce Tree. Deep in Lake Quinaul's Valley of the Rainforest Giants stands a massive Sitka spruce, one of the largest of its kind in the world. With a circumference of nearly 59 feet, a diameter of over 18 feet, and a height of 191 feet, this tree is a true natural wonder. It scored an impressive 922 points in the American Forestry Association system, securing its place as a top giant among giants. This Sitka spruce, located in Washington State's lush rainforest, has outlasted other big spruces like Oregon's seaside spruce, which fell during a fierce winter storm in 2007. The Sitka spruce, scientifically known as Picea sitchensis, is the largest spruce species and the 3rd tallest conifer in the world, capable of growing up to 330 feet tall. It's found along the coastlines of North America, from Alaska down to Northern California. While young Sitka spruces have a narrow, pointed crown, older trees develop a more cylindrical shape and often have no branches below 100 feet. The spruce's dark green needles, which are blue underneath, give the tree a unique color, and its flaky bark adds to its rugged coastal look. Its dense wood is prized for its distinctive sound quality, making it popular for instruments like guitars and violins. This massive tree isn't just impressive to look at. It plays an essential role in its ecosystem. Standing tall above the forest floor, it creates special habitats that many plants and animals depend on. Its bark is tough enough to handle coastal winds, and its needles absorb moisture from foggy air, making it perfect for its coastal environment. While there are other huge Sitka spruces, none have quite reached the size of the Lake Quinault giant. But even the mighty Sitka spruce seems young next to a true ancient of the natural world. High in California's mountains, there's a tree that has outlived empires and survived millennia. Meet the Methuselah tree. 10. Methuselah tree. High in the White Mountains of eastern California, the Methuselah tree, a Great Basin bristlecone pine, stands as one of the world's oldest living trees. This ancient tree is estimated to be between 4,800 and 5,000 years old. It grows in the rugged ancient bristlecone pine forest within California's Inyo National Forest. The tree's exact location is a closely guarded secret, known only to a few to protect it from harm. Bristlecone pines like Methuselah are called extremophiles because they thrive in harsh, rocky soils that would be hard for most trees to survive in. Their dense, resin-filled wood protects them from pests and decay, allowing them to live for thousands of years. Methuselah grows at elevations between 9,500 and 9,800 feet, where it endures rough weather, strong sunlight, and limited soil nutrients. These tough conditions help the tree live longer, as it grows slowly and resists decay over time. Named after the biblical character Methuselah, who lived to be 969 years old, this ancient tree has become a symbol of resilience and endurance. Its incredible age has drawn scientists, historians, and nature lovers from all over the world. Though its exact spot was a secret for decades, recent leaks, including a mention in National Geographic, have made it easier for people to find. Now, with increased efforts to protect Methuselah and other ancient pines, the tree continues to stand as a silent witness to thousands of years of history, from ancient civilizations to the mysteries of life we still explore today. As we move from the dry mountains of California, a new legend awaits us in New Zealand. Here stands a tree so cherished by the Maori people that it's known as the Lord of the Forest, the Tāne Mahuta. Tāne Mahuta. In New Zealand's Waipua Forest stands a majestic kauri tree named Tāne Mahuta, or Lord of the Forest. This incredible tree, about 168 feet tall with a trunk over 45 feet around, is the biggest living kauri known. Estimated to be between 1,250 and 2,500 years old, Tāne Mahuta has survived through centuries, standing witness to the growth of New Zealand's ancient subtropical rainforest. But Tāne Mahuta is more than just a big tree. It has deep meaning in Maori culture. Named after Tāne, the Maori god of forests and birds, it's tied to the legend that Tāne separated his parents. Ranginui means sky father, and Papatuanuku means earth mother, to bring light into the world and clothe earth in lush forests. To the Maori, Tāne Mahuta is a living symbol of life, protection, and connection with nature, bridging their past with the present. The tree was discovered in 1924 during a road building project, and soon became a symbol of New Zealand's natural beauty. Visitors from all over come to Waipua Forest to see this giant for themselves, often describing the experience as humbling and emotional. A gentle, accessible path takes visitors through the forest to Tāne Mahuta, where they can take in its towering presence and the beauty of the surrounding rainforest. However, Tāne Mahuta is at risk from a disease called kauri diabok, a fungus that targets kauri trees and has already harmed parts of New Zealand's forests. To protect this ancient tree, the New Zealand Department of Conservation has put strong measures in place, like foot cleaning stations for visitors and educational programs to help people understand how to keep the forest healthy. The survival of Tāne Mahuta depends on these careful conservation efforts, allowing this Lord of the Forest to keep standing strong for future generations. And while Tāne Mahuta stands as a single giant, our next wonder isn't just one tree, but an entire forest that shares one massive root system. Prepare to be amazed by Pando, the trembling giant of Utah. Pando. In southern Utah's Fish Lake National Forest, there's an astonishing organism called Pando, known as the trembling giant. Pando isn't a single tree, but a huge clonal colony of quaking aspens, covering an incredible 106 acres. What looks like thousands of individual trees swaying in the wind are all part of one massive organism, connected by a single underground root system. Pando, which weighs around 13 million pounds, is considered one of the largest and heaviest living things on Earth. Every one of its 40,000 stems is a clone, growing from the same root system that shares water, nutrients, and energy. This impressive underground network stretches over a mile, keeping Pando thriving as one of nature's most fascinating creations. Even though Pando is recognized as the largest aspen clone, it isn't considered a typical champion tree, since the American Forestry Association usually ranks single-trunk trees, like the General Sherman tree in California. Still, Pando's massive size and unusual biology make it an ecological wonder. Unfortunately, Pando is under threat. Overgrazing by deer and livestock prevents new stems from growing, which means Pando isn't regenerating as it should. Conservationists are working to protect this massive organism by setting up measures to reduce grazing and encourage new growth. But saving Pando isn't easy. Studies suggest it might be shrinking, highlighting the need for ongoing protection to keep this unique, trembling giant alive for generations to come. As we wrap up our journey through the world of towering giants, it's clear these trees are more than just big. They're living pieces of history, natural wonders, and silent protectors of our planet. So, which of these giants surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed exploring these incredible trees with us, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing stories from the natural world. Who knows what other wonders are out there just waiting to be discovered? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.